Hi everyone, I hope we've had a lovely, safe summer together, and I hope you're as excited as we are for your return to school next week. As we did back in June, we thought it would be a good idea to put together a video again, just showing you how we intend to keep your children, yourselves and ourselves safe when we return to school next week. Much of what you're about to see is very similar to what you saw in June, and everything in our safety plan corresponds to the latest guidance from the DfE and the government, and because of that it is subject to change. As I said, I hope you're as excited as what we are to return to school next week, and I hope this video again goes somewhere to alleviate any worries or apprehensions that you might have. At the end of the video are all the ways that you can get in touch if you still have any questions or queries. If not, very much looking forward to seeing you all next week. This is our safe return to school plan for September 2020. So who's coming back to school? All children are expected to return to school next week. All of our nursery children and reception children, all of our children from phase 1, that's years 1 and 2, all of our children from phase 2, that's years 3 and 4, and our children from phase 3, which is only last year's year 5, as year 6 is now year 7. Why do all children need to attend school now? Well, as we knew back in June, COVID-19 is less likely to affect our young children. But we're very concerned about these 4 areas coming through now. The academic side of things, of course, because children have lost a lot of education this year. The physical attributes of our children, the psychological state of those who have missed out on a lot of school, and of course their social skills. We're calling this our NOPA 4-corner model, and it will become very instrumental in our 3-week transition starting next week. So how will NOPA keep children safe? Well, much of this has been seen before in our return to school plan from June. Children will be kept in their phases this time, which is a few more children than last time, but they'll have the same members of staff every day, every week, and they'll work in the same areas every day, every week. Thus there'll be no mixing whatsoever from any of those phases. They'll also have their own dedicated toilet blocks, and these will be cleaned twice a day. We'll continue to stagger lots of things on the school timetable, like pickups, break times and lunch times. Lunch times will return to normal, but we'll have a rotational timetable so that phases can stay apart, and of course we'll be bringing back hot meals. Inside the classroom, learning positions will be spaced as far apart as possible and where necessary, and play equipment will be cleaned regularly and never used simultaneously by different phases. There will be some soft furnishings and toys returned to the classroom, but there'll still be some that stay away. We're going to continue using iPads for feedback, so we reduce the contact between children and adults. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to continue to clean the school twice a day. Lunch times will be dedicated to toilets and the handles of doors, etc. And then the cleaning team will work rigorously at the end of the school day. You'll see our markings and signs across school to support safe distancing, and we'll continue to use disposable cups so children don't need to bring their water bottles from home. Children and staff will have access to testing. We'll continue to regularly clean the classroom more than normal. The children got into some wonderful habits in June. As I mentioned earlier, we will continue to limit and stop items travelling from home and school. All they'll need is a lunchbox, and we'll be introducing reading books. We're going to keep individual stationery packets, wash hands regularly, and keep the doors open for good ventilation and to stop the touching of handles. School has invested in a huge amount of PPE and cleaning products. The government do not expect children or teachers to use face masks in school, but they are there for things like first aid and if there are ever any large groupings. We'll continue to limit visitors, but social workers and health workers will be allowed in school with strict protocol. and we won't be having any after school clubs till at least after Christmas. Breakfast Club is available, but for work and families only, and they must speak to Miss Williams to organise beforehand. We've worked tirelessly over the summer to update and re-energise some of our policies, like our behaviour policy, which had children often being quite close together. And there will be new protocol for the office. It will be bigger than you remember it, but only one family at a time will be allowed in. Some popular, frequently asked questions we've had recently. The 3-week transition that the children will go through starting next week means that they'll go back to the year group they were in last year for those 3 weeks. That's all about working on the 4-corner model we spoke about before, and the children have an opportunity to have proper closure with their teacher from last year. We'll be returning back to normal Fridays, so no half-day Friday anymore. And there'll be a return to normal uniform. PE kits will also be needed, but they will be worn on the day that the children have PE. More information on that will come later. As always, there's lots of ways to get in contact if you still have questions. You can get us on the school number, you can get us on our Contact Us email address, or you could head over to social media, contact us at Twitter or at Facebook, or you could send us a message to our SMS service number, which is on the screen now.